call in and name, so I won't do that. But I don't know. I just kind of. I think you have to figure out where you want to draw your line at,
Yep.
where you want your line in the sand. And as Moose says, you always be proud to be an American. Don't ever give that up, because the minute you give that up, you're giving up all your freedoms and everything that this country is based on. Even though things don't look like they used to when we grew up and all that. I don't know. Some point, maybe we can carve out a little piece of it for ourselves. Maybe it has to be an island somewhere or something, but we'll figure it out. But it'll come back one way or another, and usually it comes back after something like September 11th, 2001. It's unfortunately, it does take something like that to bring this country back together. But we'll see what happens. But it's just, I got a feeling something will be brewing, something will be coming. And just remember, us normal people can't think like the terrorists do. So that means you can't imagine the next thing they're planning, because you can't even fathom doing that type of destruction or harm or damage to other people.
Correct.
The way they do, because they don't see people as any value. There's no value to anything, and not I don't even think they believe there's value to themselves. I mean, other than to their cause. And so that.
Well, yeah, isn't that their ultimate goal is to go spend eternity with their, 72 virgins or whatever the hell it is.
72 yeah. Yep. So their only value is to their cause. It's not to survive or be productive or anything like that. Their only productive is to destroy. So I don't know. You just don't know what the next big thing is coming along here. But I'm sure they got something ticking, and don't trust any of them. So, hey, with all that, I guess that sounded pretty serious, didn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
that's not like horse feathers. What's horse feathers doing that?
If memory serves, I think our military was depleted a bit between 2008 and 2016 as well, was it not?
Yeah, probably, yeah. It was probably before that. It was probably from 2004, 2005 to, well, no, what was it after that? I forget.
Seems like we go back and forth, back and forth.
93 to, yeah, absolutely. When one party comes in and then the other party doesn't, I don't know.
Trump was working on getting our military back to full strength.
Absolutely. But that's just unneeded spending. You got to spend the money on good stuff like batteries for cars and wind towers and solar panels and make the world safe for everybody.
Because climate change is the greatest threat against us, right? Climate change is a greater threat. Yep, that's 9 before the hour. It is 844-3388. I pulled up the story. I mentioned that Russian cosmonauts discovering new cracks in a segment of the International Space Station that could widen, according to officials this past day. Just the latest in a series of setbacks for the space station. We give you more on that in 2. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Pure Flow Air Dog, your leader in fuel air separation system technology. Our systems filter out water, particulates down to 2 micron, and remove all of the air out of your diesel fuel. This allows for nothing but pure, clean diesel fuel to reach the expensive injection system equipped in your vehicle. Not only do our fuel systems protect, they also come in a variety of flow rates to meet your performance needs. Our systems are compact and use OEM-style fittings for easy installation. Learn more about our product at www.pureflowairDog.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Protect your investment with PureFlow AirDog.
Drivers, you demand that your equipment's reliable and dependable, and that also applies to your headset for communication. Well, our friends at Stellar Electronic have you covered. The Pluto Duo headset bundle is the best communication headset you can find in the industry. No matter the challenging environment you're driving in, the Pluto headset will make you sound crystal clear all the time thanks to their 99% noise cancellation. And the Duo's not only a stereo converter for the headset, but also a power bank so you can charge as you go. Learn more at StellarElectronic.com or visit them on Facebook.
Some say their truck reflects who they are, dependable and reliable. That's why you trust Blue Def. Now the best just got better. Introducing Blue Def Platinum, a revolutionary innovation with advanced system shield technology to significantly reduce harmful deposits. To maintain fuel economy, save money on costly repairs, and sustain the life of your SCR system, there's only one DEF to choose. Blue Def Platinum. The best just got better.
Because Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
All right. Let me see here. All right, Baron. Yes, thank you, Baron. I got your response, and I successfully forwarded that to Big Moose. All right, so he's got your number there. I'm sure he'll be in contact with you. It goes by the Baron. Anybody remember the Baron from about 30 years ago? I've been driving truck 42 years. Got a few miles under your belt there, don't you, Baron? Hey, now let's see what's going on with the heat wave this morning. Back at it.
Good morning, senor. Well, this was a fruitful time off at the hacienda. I'm going to upset somebody. Apparently someone called in Saturday, was complaining about the show, and didn't care for my AC update, so I'm going to be sure to upset them some more. Well, we got our AC installed, and immediately it froze up on us.
Really?
And, of course, yeah.
Is that because the inside didn't match the outside thing? Is that?
Well, according to the young lady I talked to this morning, she said it was compatible and it should not have froze up. And I said, well, then we have a problem. So they're supposed to come out this morning about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, somewhere around there, and take a look-see. In the meantime, I've got 3 portable AC units inside the house, ones that you can roll around to whatever room you want to cool off.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I tell you what, spend enough money, I might as well just go ahead and throw everything in, because it's just ridiculous. So anyway, so we got that squared away. They're coming out. And, I had a little bit of a food problem. You know, I had raised a steer named T-Bone and a lamb named Lamb Chop. And apparently Lamb Chop got his final revenge on me. Suffered some food poisoning, I guess. The meat didn't smell bad when I was cooking it. It smelled pretty good when it thawed out. But I tell you what, the next day I was just getting it from both ends, same time. And I'm just thankful that the shower was right there by the toilet, because it was a mess. I finally got well enough where I laid down in bed and I told my wife I was dying, that it was worse than, it had to be worse than childbirth. And she's like, oh, grow up, you know. So I fell asleep, and then I woke up about 5 hours later, and I touched her on her shoulder. I said, is this heaven? And she just laughed. I'm like, no. And I said, oh, my God.
And wherever Heat Wave is way out west there, he's in between cells somewhere. All right, so we lost you, Heat Wave. Maybe you can dial us back up when you get into a good sell. And another item we haven't touched on yet as we roll toward top of the hour news update. After which, well, looky there, we'll be up to our final hour on the horizon. Oil production. How much damage was done? Yeah, most of the region's offshore wells and nearly half of the motor fuel production. Ida has pummeled Gulf Coast energy suppliers. Here's what they said. Production losses announced this past day include 6 Gulf Coast refineries, which will lift retail gas prices, nickel or a dime per gallon, according to Gas Buddy. Crude oil, little changed in Asian trading Monday. Colonial Pipeline, the largest U.S. fuel pipeline network, halted motor fuel deliveries from Houston to Greensboro, North Carolina. The lines supply nearly half the gas used along the East Coast. And an extended May shutdown actually led to fuel shortages. 1.74 million barrels of oil output were lost to shut-ins on Sunday. Natural gas was cut by 94%, 2 billion cubic feet per day. 6 refineries that process 1.92 million barrels per day of oil into gas and other petroleum products either shut or curtailed some production. Oil companies announcing this past day they will begin damage surveys of offshore platforms before taking crews back and restoring any output. Royal Dutch Shell Sunday was seeking to resume some production at one of 7 platforms. Nearly a dozen commercial shipping ports from New Orleans to Pascagoula, Mississippi remain closed. All right, the closures include Louisiana offshore oil port Loop, the largest privately owned crude export and import terminal in the country. So how long these things are going to be shuttered, that's the question. I know it's, one caller or emailer mentioned it takes literally several days to even shut down operations. And for the most part, they didn't even have that amount of time to shutter operations. Back with our final hour just ahead. Want to jump on board? It is 844-844-3388. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Dan Naraki.
More than 1 million people in Louisiana are still without power, according to Governor John Bel Edwards. He said Monday evening that electricity is practically non-existent for most people in southeast Louisiana and that 25,000 linemen are in the state working to restore power. Regional supplier Entergy says that it could be up to 3 weeks before power could be restored to some of the hardest hit areas by the storm. The company estimates that 90% of its customers would see power restored sooner. The Louisiana Department of Health has also confirmed that a second person has died in the storm. The department said in a Monday evening tweet that a man drowned in his vehicle when he tried to drive through floodwaters near I-10 in New Orleans. And the European Union has proposed new travel restrictions that could severely restrict travel for unvaccinated Americans. The body passed a non-binding resolution Monday that would remove the U.S. from a list of countries whose citizens can visit member states without additional coronavirus restrictions. This is USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Wayne Alaroot. John and Chelsea Jubilee with Energized Health are regular guests on my show, sharing their breakthrough science of intercellular hydration. The results? People lose fat fast while still eating many of the foods they love. You can too. Plus, supercharge your energy and boost your immune system. You'll look and feel years younger. It's simple and natural without painful exercise. How do I know? Because I've only been on the program for a few short months, and I've already lost 25 pounds of inner body fat, and I've gained 10 pounds of muscle. But don't just take my word for it. Go to EnergizedHealth.com and check out hundreds of amazing testimonials. For all the details, click on the red button. Watch the masterclass at EnergizedHealth.com. It's free. Or cut to the chase. Join right now at 888-444-8895. Toll free 888-444-8895. Mention war and get 40% off. 40% off! Go now to EnergizedHealth.com, 888-444-8895 or EnergizedHealth.com.
The Federal Trade Commission has its eye on gas prices. Tim Berg explains.
The Federal Trade Commission is going to crack down on gasoline price manipulation and unlawful mergers among big oil companies. FTC Chair Lena Khan telling the White House they will investigate abuses in the franchise market for retail fuel stations. Going forward, the FTC will challenge mergers where dominant players in the industry are buying family-run businesses. Khan adding they will reimpose prior approval requirements and probe practices related to fuel stations that are franchised. From the USA Radio News Phoenix Bureau, I'm Tim Berg.
And the Department of Education announced Monday that it was investigating 5 states for their bans on mask requirements in schools. The department's Office for Civil Rights says that the policies could be discriminatory against students with disabilities or health conditions. The department will investigate mask bans in Iowa, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Utah. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
With the final U.S. military flights out of Afghanistan leaving on Monday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that there are between 100 and 200 Americans remaining in the country who want to get out. In remarks Monday evening, Blinken pledged that the U.S. would continue to work to get them and Afghans who worked alongside U.S. personnel out. But critics of the administration's withdrawal say that the U.S. broke its promise to get all Americans evacuated before the final pullout. Mary Beth Long, former Assistant Secretary of Defense under President George W. Bush, says that the U.S. left its citizens hanging when they went to the airport for evacuation. She tells CNBC that many promises went unfulfilled as the last troops left Afghanistan.
Last night, dozens and dozens of U.S. citizens went to the airport. They were called to go there, and the gates never opened. Those U.S. citizens were left hanging this morning, circling the gates, circling the airport, unable to do much of anything. That isn't the promise that Americans expect. We also haven't even begun to talk about the green card holders. These are American citizens who, some of them, put in their paperwork during COVID, but don't have the official paperwork back. There are probably, by our estimates, 5,000 U.S. citizen green card holders, and special immigration visa holders that did not get out. And this idea that they were given every opportunity or somehow a large number of them voted to stay is just not the case. It's undermined by the facts that they were circling the airport last night.
And for USA Radio News, I'm Dan Naraki.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
ultra-low sulfur fuels.
The primary function of diesel fuel is combustibility. One of the little-known aspects of fuel is its role as a lubricant to metal-on-metal moving parts. The introduction of ultra-low sulfur fuels diminishes the fuel's ability to lubricate because sulfur, which has been mostly removed, has lubricating properties. Hot Shot Secret Everyday Diesel Treatment with LX4 delivers unmatched lubricity. Third-party testing confirms that it takes 3 times the amount of leading fuel treatment to match the lubrication benefit of 1 dose of Hot Shot Secret. Everyday Diesel Treatment is a fully formulated 6-in-1 premium fuel treatment for every fill-up, every time.
Everyday Diesel Treatment is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Well, it's not till November, but getting ready. I'm sorry, it's sooner than that. Yeah, November the 8th. All right. Truckers for Troops campaign. I thought it was November. November the 8th to November the 15th. This will be this year, 15th annual Truckers for Troops campaign. from OOIDA started back in 2007, allowing truck drivers to show appreciation for all the sacrifices that members of the military make. During the week of Veterans Day, the 2021 Truckers for Troops campaign, Monday the 8th through the start of business Monday the 15th. As usual, truckers can join OOIDA for a discounted rate of $35, 10% of that going to the fund, and OOIDA matching that money. You can also make direct donations to the fund. To date, Truckers for Troops has generated $697,196 and some change. It started during Operation Iraqi Freedom, if you recall, to send care packages to the troops overseas in veterans facilities in this country. They started using funds last year to help the Veterans Community Project. In addition to sending care packages, that program helps provide housing for homeless veterans through a community of what they call tiny houses. But again, just giving advance notice, mark your calendars. We'll obviously talk about that more as the time approaches for the 2021 edition of Truckers for Troops. All right, heat wave made it back through. Got a better signal, hopefully, now.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you much for taking me back. Yeah, well, so the weekend wasn't a total bust. I did have a nice daddy-daughter dinner date at Denny's, and try saying that fast 5 times. So she really enjoyed herself, and we sat and just talked, and that was good. So, anyways, Gilligan, oh, please don't do that. Don't do that. that was pretty sad. I'm sure we'll talk more about it after the show, but goodness gracious, that's yeah. Anyways, they're talking about these mask mandates and the ACLU or whoever it is trying to look into it, saying it's violating people's. Well, when they ban the use of wearing those things, it doesn't mean you can't wear one. It's just stating that these businesses or schools or, the government's telling them, we're not making this a mandatory thing. We're banning the mask. But I think if an individual wants to wear one, who is saying that they can't wear one?
Not a soul.
Exactly.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know. I think there may be an isolated business here and there that has, just to be smart, like no masks allowed kind of thing on their doors. But that's just, a couple of little businesses here and there. But hell, I don't know anyone that wants to complain about someone wearing a mask. I've noticed around here more and more people. I went into the convenience store where no one had been wearing. Cashiers and behind the counter in recent weeks, they had not been wearing. They're back to wearing them again. I almost thought that they had mandated them again, but not yet.
Well, they have in New Mexico. Our illustrious governor, right, said it was going to be for 2 weeks. So we said, all right. And then she extended it another 2 weeks. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's a month. That's not 2 weeks. What gives? Well, she's a Democrat, and all Democrats like to do is stir up trouble and scare the living hell out of people and keep that going until the election time so they can secure footing for another 4 years, 2 years, or 6 years, however it works out. So, yeah, I'm not real thrilled with our governor, but hopefully next year we finally make the push to make everything red in the state of New Mexico. I know that's probably a long shot, but I think there's a lot of people out there and some Democrats that are saying, you know what, this is absolute nonsense. So, yeah, we've done said enough about Biden I think we all pretty much have the idea that he's a fossilized old fool that has no idea what's on his plate, and they got to tell him this is your green peas, and
Yeah.
this is your peaches, and this is your meat.
Well, when he's doing a press conference and he actually stands there and says, "I've been instructed to call on John Dunham," and whoever, I've been instructed. You're the president. Who's telling him who to and who not to call on?
It ain't Jeff Dunham. I'm sure he's letting people know that it's not his hand up his butt doing that puppeteering up there. I mean, you did see his deal on Friday saying, "We won't forget, and we will find you, and we will take
Hunt you down." Yeah.
The man blinked one time, but he looked like he was in a comatose state of, I don't know. I mean, he just didn't look alive. He looked like a Jeff Dunham doll. And there was no emotion. He tried, but I mean, I think it was feigned. And for those Gold Star parents and wives of the slain there in Afghanistan this past week, hey, good for them to stand up and get up out of there and not even give that damn fool and even a second chance or any kind. And then, of course, what they said, like you said, he was talking to one of them, the wife of a 20-year-old that was killed, who's expecting their child next month. He made it out to be, it was a story about him and his life and his son. There is a big break from your son that has been in the Navy dying of brain cancer compared to someone's, spouse that just got the hell blown out of him. There's a disconnect there. I said we weren't going to talk about it, but here we are talking about it. So, but we all know. And did Eagle say it was the 45th to get the president out of office due to incompetence, or did I misunderstand it?
I didn't catch if he said 45th. It was 25th.
It's the 25th. Yeah, I just want to make sure of that. And sometimes I hear things that ain't really there, but that's neither here nor there. So, anyways, and then somebody was complaining. My understanding is that we're not talking truck 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on this 5-hour channel.
Oh, I've heard that before.
And it's people that don't call in. If you want to talk about something, call in. We're not going to make a fool out of you. The only person that's going to make a fool out of you is you. So, and even then it's good-natured humor when we go ahead and attack each other on that. But, I mean, if you want to talk trucking, well, call in. Give us your opinions and ideas. Let's stew on it and, say yay or nay and go on.
Ask a question and you'll get some response. I mean, I've dealt with this for many, many years, Heat Wave. I mean, you've always got that crowd out there, and I respond to them the same. I've always described my program is we're a news magazine. You get a lot more information than you get from the 5-minute headline at the top or bottom of the hour. We go more in depth on anything and everything that impacts all of our lives. Just because you're a truck driver doesn't mean trucking is the only thing that affects your life. Everything that affects anyone and everyone affects truck drivers as well. Yeah, we'll talk about what the drivers want to talk about.
Exactly. I mean, if it's politics affects trucking. If it's terrorism abroad, it'll eventually affect us here. If it's, some damn ship getting sideways in Suez, well, that affects us here too. And sometimes we just don't want to talk about trucking. We'd rather talk about something else. But I may be going off the reservation there. But anyways, Hey, how did Rowan do this weekend? Did he play football?
They did play. We did not attend the game. Get a load of this. My daughter calls and she says, all right, I've been informed. If you got to go potty, go potty before you come because there's no restrooms here at this field. You got to bring chairs because there's no bleachers at this field. There's no concessions at this field. I think they'll have... Somebody's got like a cooler with some drinks that they'll sell out of the cooler. And I said, wait a minute. No, I'm not going to go out on a 90-degree day and not have any restrooms or concessions. So they won the game, though. So that's all I know. They won the game.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad he had fun. And speaking of sports, have you heard from Matthew lately? I don't recall hearing him the last couple of months.
He has come on like the discussion board here a time or two, just said, say good morning or how you doing, Steve Sommers, but he hasn't called in a while. You're correct.
Well, Matthew, if you're out there, man, let's talk some sports. I want to hear what you got in mind for your baseball team that you're rooting for.
Yeah,
whatever.
I did catch on a blurb this past day that I think the Cincinnati Reds and his beloved Cardinals are battling for one of those last remaining wild card spots. So I'm sure he's sitting on the edge of his seat waiting to see if the Cards can get a wild card.
Chomping at the bit. Yeah, I hear you. Well, I guess I'll get off here so y'all can find another exciting caller like Gilligan. But yeah, I enjoy having my ears and my eyes and my nose come out bloody when I hear someone singing off key and out of whack. That just makes my day. So, Senor, we'll talk to you later. You have yourself a good morning.
All right, thank you, Heatwave. Yeah. All right, real quick, like back to the International Space Station. Russian cosmonauts say superficial fissures have been found in some places, plural, on the Zarya module. Chief engineer of Rocket and Space Corporation Energia. This is bad and suggests the fissures will begin to spread over time. He did not say if the cracks had caused any air to leak, but the space official had said previously that much of the International Space Station's equipment is obviously starting to age. There could be an avalanche of broken equipment after 2025. Space station has suffered several recent incidents. Russian officials last month said it was a software glitch and maybe a lapse in human attention that were to blame for throwing the International Space Station out of control when the jet thrusters on the research module inadvertently reignited a few hours after it had docked, causing the entire orbital outpost to pitch out of its normal position with 7 crew members on board. Russia's space agency also reported last month a drop in pressure in the Zvezda service module, which provides living quarters for crew members on the space station, that was caused by an air leak. Russia says they will remain part of the space station until 2024, and that they're open to extending maybe the partnership beyond then, but at least at the moment, that's when they're supposed to be done. All right, 21 past the hour. Back into the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Some say their truck reflects who they are, dependable and reliable. That's why you trust Blue Def. Now the best just got better. Introducing Blue Def Platinum, a revolutionary innovation with advanced system shield technology to significantly reduce harmful deposits. To maintain fuel economy, save money on costly repairs, and sustain the life of your SCR system, there's only one DEF to choose. Blue Def Platinum, the best just got better.
For anything diesel, take it to Scheid Diesel. They provide a wide variety of services and diagnostics to determine what the problem is with the latest technology. From simple oil changes and preventative maintenance to fuel system diagnostics and repairs, engine rebuilds and cylinder head repairs, and rebuilds with our in-house machine shop. They also have on-site DPF cleaning for exhaust issues and DOT inspections. If your diesel is asking for some attention, Scheid Diesel has the specialist you need for anything diesel. Located in Terre Haute and Lafayette, Indiana, and Effingham, Illinois, Scheid Diesel has you covered.
You work hard. You deserve a seat that works just as hard as you do. The Bostrom T-Series seat has provided drivers with comfort for millions of miles over the past 3 decades. Each seat is built right here in the USA and has 4-position front cushion tilt and higher low-profile air suspension with Isolate. It's also equipped with many standard and optional comfort features, such as high and mid backrests, 9.4-inch fore-aft slide adjustment, adjustable armrests, and manual or dual air lumbar support systems to keep you comfortable throughout your ride. Build your T-Series seat today at BostromSeating.com and ensure your ultimate comfort for wherever the road takes you. Bostrom Seating, the ultimate comfort for the open road.
Keep the bugs off your glass and the smokies off your ass. This is the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Quite honest, I don't suspect it'll happen. But there's a group called the Flag Officers for America that has published a press release demanding the resignation of the Secretary of Defense and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. People in that position right now, of course, Lloyd Austin III and General Mark Milley, respectively, both military leaders who have had to face questions and scrutiny in regards to the withdrawal from Afghanistan. According to the letter, the concerns from former military officials are that the U.S. military gave up key locations like Bagram Air Base, alongside the manpower therein, in tandem with not having a concrete plan to evacuate citizens in the meantime. As principal military advisors to the President, the Secretary of Defense, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff should have recommended against this dangerous withdrawal in the strongest possible terms. If they did not do everything within their authority to stop the hasty withdrawal, they should resign. Conversely, if they did do everything within their ability to persuade the president to not hastily exit the country without ensuring the safety of our citizens and Afghans loyal to America, then they should have resigned in protest as a matter of conscience and public statement. The situation as it stands this evening is the Biden administration formally ended their military presence in Afghanistan despite admitting several hundreds of Americans are left behind. President Biden said he trusts the Taliban when it comes to how anyone else wants to get out. The letter from Flag Officers for America continues by establishing the weakness of the United States on the international stage. Places like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea have an opportunity to take advantage of the situation in light of this administration's actions. There's a whole paragraph dedicated to how the military's shift toward political correctness has laid the groundwork for divisiveness and a weakness of war-fighting capability. For the sake of posterity, they've got the list that was signed off on, which is a total of nearly 90 retired generals and admirals. 90 generals and admirals calling for Miley and Austin to resign. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. Do you? All right, Chevy Guy. Yes, sir. Welcome back.
Thank you for a second shot. Yeah, I guess that basically backs up what I said. You know, Miss Millie gets up there and says, who thought that would happen? You know, that Afghanistan's government military would collapse so fast. And like I said, the very next thing he should have said is, by the way, here's my resignation.
Yeah.
Because a nation deserves better than that. Now remember, we're out here day in, day out trying to say our government's coming after our freedoms. We're saying by our next election, we will know for sure whether or not we are a free nation, or if we go from citizen to subject, because the American people won't have a vote anymore. It's going to be the people in D.C. deciding whether or not who is going to sit in office. All right? We're fighting for our freedom here, and we're saying that our government doesn't have a right to tell us what to do. And then at the same time, we're saying that same government has a right to tell other countries what form of government they have to have. And I'm telling you, yeah, you can put your boots on the ground, but okay, fair enough. But let's not do trench warfare. I mean, the closest we come is North and South Korea. We gave South Korea. We still have boots on the ground. They're a strong enough country. They could guard their own border. They make as much money if they need for their own defense. Japan, we don't need to be there anymore. We're defending Japan. You need to pull our boots off the ground there. And as for Iran, if you want to go in and attack Iran right now, what you're going to do is, because Iran and Russia have an agreement right now. They're playing patty cakes together. If Israel attacks Iran in their nuclear program, then they're going to have to fight Russia too. So yeah, you want to put your boots on the ground. I got it, but I'm telling you, an American boot hit the ground in Saudi Arabia, and that American boot decided to pick a fight with people that fight for centuries. And it's just right now we need to strengthen our border, pull our troops back. We don't need to be telling other countries how to govern themselves. You know, we need right now. I'm more worried. Now listen, I'd be saying something different if it was Trump in office, but the group we got in there now, we need to pull our people out. Shoot, my granddaughter's in Germany. Well, we're defending against Germany. Germany's fighting against our interests, and Germany made that gas deal coming from billions of dollars from Russia, getting gas from Russia. At the same time, we're spending billions of dollars supposedly defending Germany from an aggressive Russia. So, hey, I'm just saying, we need to rethink all this stuff, because they're talking about it won't just be our sons that'll be drafted next time, because they're talking about our daughters having to sign up for the draft. We'll call it the draft, because all it takes is a swift of a pen, and we'll end up having our daughters go to battle or on the battlefield. But by God, if this next election doesn't turn out to be an honest election, then then a government not voted by the people, and it won't be a government of the people, for the people, by the people, not from the government to the people, but from the people of the government. They're going to flip that around, and it'll be from the government to the people. And they'll be taking the government, unelected government, taking our children and putting them boots on their feet and putting their boots on their foreign country's ground, whoever they decide to pick a fight with. So that's good enough. And I am ashamed of what our country did by leaving those people behind. I'm not ashamed of my country. I'm ashamed of what we did. And but at the same time, a lot of those people are in there because of greed. They got in there because of greed. And that means some of our friends. I'm glad to hear that the military, there's guys in the military have been getting a hold of their interpreters and have actively, not just that group you were talking about earlier. I heard that on a Christian station.
Right.
That they're actually getting out there and tracking these people down and trying to make a way to get them home.
Going outside the perimeter, even though they're not supposed to be going outside the perimeter. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We got to get our news break in there, Chevy guy. But one thing you just mentioned, you keep saying boots on the ground with whoever we want to pick a fight with. Last I checked, we're not picking the fights. We're trying to defend our own national security. Am I missing something there? We didn't pick a fight with Afghanistan. Of course, that you see that differently. You say we picked a fight by putting the boot on the ground in Saudi Arabia. Bunk. We'll return after this. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
USA Radio News with Dan Naraki.
The U.S.'s 20-year-long war in Afghanistan ended Monday with the final U.S. military personnel evacuating from the Kabul airport.
The last C-17 lifted off from Hamid Karzai International Airport on August 30th this afternoon at 3:29 p.m. East Coast time. And the last manned aircraft is now clearing the airspace above Afghanistan.
CENTCOM Commander General Kenneth McKenzie announcing the end of the mission in Afghanistan. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the American diplomatic mission had moved to Doha, Qatar.
For the time being, we will use this post in Doha to manage our diplomacy with Afghanistan, including consular affairs, administering humanitarian assistance, and working with allies, partners, and regional and international stakeholders to coordinate our engagement and messaging to the Taliban.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, veterinarian physician and founder of Youngevity, and I want to talk about dementias. There's at least a dozen different dementias. Doctors call all of them Alzheimer's disease because when you look at the payout list, Alzheimer's disease pays the most. So no matter which of the 12 dementias you have, they're going to call it Alzheimer's disease, and there's no law that says you can't have 2 or 3 or 5 or 8 or all 12 of the dementias. And so you have to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rhinos, no sugar. And then I want you to take 1 Healthy Brain and Heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight. That's 1 Healthy Brain and Heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight. I want you to take the Ultimate Niacin plus 1 of those twice a day. Our De-Stress capsules, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. Then I want you to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight in case you have vascular dementia. And don't forget those 3 eggs twice a day because, remember, 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. Contact us at usaradiohealth.com. That's usaradiohealth.com.
You're listening to the Overnight Drive with Steve Sommers.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3/4 or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
Drivers, you demand that your equipment's reliable and dependable, and that also applies to your headset for communication. Well, our friends at Stellar Electronic have you covered. The Pluto Duo headset bundle is the best communication headset you can find in the industry. No matter the challenging environment you're driving in, the Pluto headset will make you sound crystal clear all the time thanks to their 99% noise cancellation. And the Duo's not only a stereo converter for the headset, but also a power bank so you can charge as you go. Learn more at StellarElectronic.com or visit them on Facebook.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Hotshot Secret Diesel Extreme.
Today's ultra-low sulfur fuels are cleaner, but they leave injector deposits, causing frequent DPF regens and low throttle response. Hotshot Secret Diesel Extreme is a 6-in-1 fuel additive recommended for all diesel engines. This formula